Hey guys, and welcome back to Deeper Than Most. I'm your host, DJ.
And I'm your host, Sav.
Today we are on episode 16.
Yes, we are.
And you know what that means? Another FNC series episode.
Yeah, this is part 7.
Oof, we've done 7 of these. And they've all been pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, so today's FNC episode is based in Connecticut. And this case dates back to 1984. And this is the Mary Badaracco case. And I believe I'm saying her last name correct. But before we jump into that, we have some intro topics for you guys. Some current events, if you will.
Yeah. And recently, Google has been put in some hot water. It says over 10,000 women are suing Google over gender pay disparity. Which, I mean, it's no new concept. A lot of companies do that, but...
It's always been like that, but it doesn't make it okay.
Right. The women who are seeking more than $600 million in damages allege Google violated the California Equal Pay Act by paying them less than their male counterparts, promoting them slowly and less frequently.
Yeah, and that happens all too often, and it's just not okay. Like, that's hella fucked up to know that we live in a society like that, and especially, it's surprising to hear from a big name company. Like, Google runs practically everything, just like Disney and Facebook. Like, they run everything. Right. So it's kind of crazy to see it from, or like Amazon, it's crazy to see it from a big name company like that. Like,
yeah, it is wild.
Suspicious as hell.
Female workers at Google earn almost $16,800 less than their similarly situated man counterparts. And that's a significant
That's
number,
a lot, yeah.
That's a specific number, like $16,000 less.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Damn near 17.
And that's according to a previous filing in the suit, which cited an analysis by the UC Irvine economist David Newmark. Mm-hmm. So then there actually was another... they tried this before, back in 2017. It says the original suit brought by Kelly Ellis, Holly Peace, and Kelly Waziri in 2017 was tossed out by a judge before being submitted again that following year with an additional plaintiff, Miss Heidi Lamar.
Which is crazy because that just shows that they been knew about this.
Yeah,
so
they were well aware, and they didn't want to do anything.
They already tried to stop it, but it just wasn't allowed. I guess it just wasn't that important at first.
Yeah, they just looked over it, I guess, and like, oh, well, this isn't too important, so we're not gonna do anything about it.
That's crazy.
And it's still ongoing, so there's not really much detail on it just yet.
Right, understandable. So, next, and along with Google, we have Google's step into healthcare. So not only are they fucking women over, but they are stepping into the healthcare field. Gotta love it.
Right.
It's great.
Right.
Google's latest foray into healthcare is a web tool that uses artificial intelligence to help people identify skin, hair, or nail conditions. Is this like post-mortem or...
Like, even like present day, like if you develop a rash or something or whatever, you can take a picture of it and...
Oh, that's cool. Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So people can use their phone's camera to take 3 pictures of the problem area. For example, like you said, a rash on their arm. They'll then answer a series of questions about their skin type and other symptoms. The tool then gives a list of possible conditions from a set of 288 that it's trained to recognize. Oh, so it can only determine like 288 different types of
whatever
problems.
Yeah, so far anyway. It's still, in the works.
So it's still new.
Yeah, it's still in the works, and they said it should be out later in the year.
So Google out here making technology?
Yeah.
Coming up with new technology?
Google is wild, man. They've been doing a lot of stuff lately.
Yeah, they have, honestly.
So, getting into this case...
Oh, go ahead.
Getting into this case, we're going to look at the insight and the setup. August 20th, 1984 is when this disappearance took place. So, Mary was one of a dozen siblings. Growing up, her father worked at the Danbury Hat Factory, and her mother was a homemaker. She was described by her daughters as playful, tender, and honest. Mary disappeared from her home in Sherman, Connecticut. This was located on Wakeman Hill Road.
And we're going to insert a picture. I don't know why that's important to the case. Mm-hmm. It was just in there when I did my research, so...
Hey, if it's in there, it's important, I guess.
Yeah.
She has 2 daughters, Cheryl, a.k.a. Sherry Pissarro, and Beth Profeta. Mary was 38 years old and married to a man named Mary Badaracco. Mary was described as feisty and someone who loved painting. Oh, that's
and I can relate to that.
That's interesting.
Painting is a great muse, and as we get into this, there's like domestic abuse going on in the relationship between the two of them, and it was said that Mary often used painting as a way to escape her reality. Mm-hmm. So it says a lot. Painting is very therapeutic. It's very fun. I suggest you try it sometime. We're going to jump into that day. And since this is a disappearance, there's really not a lot of information on this case. Mm-hmm. There's more than what I thought there would be, but still not a lot compared to others that we've done. Mm-hmm. So we're going to jump into Dom's version of the day. Dom was questioned by police and gave his perspective for the events of the day. First off, Dom said he arrived home from work to find Mary and $100,000 cash just gone.
Wait a minute.
Just straight up.
Wait.
Yeah.
So, that's specific. 100. Huh. Mm-hmm. Why was that? Oh, okay. Go on.
Yeah. Very specific, right?
Yeah, go on.
Kind of like the John Benet Ramsey case.
Yeah.
So, this lump sum of money was money that Dom had stashed a while back, and he was saving this up for God knows what. I don't know. But
usually when people, I guess I could put it on the lines of like back in that day, usually when people would save large amounts of money like that, they're probably planning to like move out of the country or like move,
or build a home,
or build something.
Something. He also noted that Mary's essential belongings were gone with her and the cash.
Oh.
So,
okay.
Setting up the scene, it kind of seems like, okay, she might have left. Yeah. She might have just, got sick of his shit and decided to just dip.
Yeah, just left.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
So, not only were Mary and her things nowhere to be found, their 3 German shepherds had vanished as well.
Oh, she took the dog. She's mad. That's it. It's over.
Right. So, Dom claimed to have found her keys and wedding ring on the counter in the kitchen, and that just further makes this seem like, okay,
I'm leaving you.
She's gone. She willingly left, and it doesn't seem like she's coming back. You took money with you, too, so I don't know.
So now we're looking at Cheryl. Mary's daughter, Sherry, said that Dom told her not to go to the police and his attorneys would handle it all.
Which is suspicious as hell.
Because, what?
Because why would you not want to get the police involved? That would be the first thing that I would want to do.
Sounds like...
even though...
Sounds like some shit.
I might be, seen as the perpetrator because of, things that are quite obvious.
But, if you...
But... in that situation, I don't give a fuck. I'm calling the cops. The cops might not like me. I don't care. They might think that I'm the problem, but when it comes down to it, I think it's worth the shot. Yeah, and they're white. So, why would you not want to call the cops?
I said his wife was missing, but that...
I know, but I'm saying, even as a black person, I would want to call the cops. Yeah. It doesn't matter. So, the fact that he just didn't want to, it's kind of why? Why would you not want to?
Cheryl said she recalls going to the home to walk through and seeing that pictures of her mom, and her older sister, unlike before, were taken out of their frames and they were gone as well.
Yeah. Kind of just trying to erase what used to be.
Right.
So, I think that, I don't know, it seems like she could have just left. But the fact that Sherry walking through the house, immediately... the pictures are gone.
Yeah.
All memorabilia or
nothing,
reminders of her is just stripped down.
Right.
For what? You know?
Like, I guess when most people leave, I don't think they would think about taking the picture. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, but I'm thinking that Dom, like, you know, he probably took them.
Oh, yeah, more than likely, yeah.
But, like, why so soon? Like, why would you want to... I mean, I don't know. All people cope differently with different things, but that's just not the way that I would have went about doing things.
Yeah, no, that's pretty specific also. Like, just taking the pictures of her and, you know, the kids just out. You know,
exactly.
That's a really interesting way.
That's pretty bold, you know what I mean? Yeah. And obviously it was noticeable. She noticed.
Yeah, as soon as she walked in the house, like
yeah, crazy. So now we're gonna take the time to thank our sponsors, and we will get right back to you. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's free and it's easy to use.
There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast straight from your phone or computer, making it the best user experience around.
Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more, making it so you don't have to upload to each individual platform.
And the best thing about it, you can make money straight from your podcast with no minimum listenership.
It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
So please, download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. And that's Anchor.fm, spelled ANCHOR.FM.
So what are you doing? Download the free Anchor app now. And we're back. Like a butt crack. So, so what could have been the motive in her disappearance? And first things first, Beth, which is her oldest daughter, recalls speaking to Mary 12 days prior. And during their discussion, they discussed Dom and his alleged secret girlfriend.
So that answers your question of why so soon. You could have been preparing for his new girlfriend.
Maybe. But damn, how obvious are you trying to make it?
Right.
Like,
you couldn't have went about it a better way.
Yeah, like, damn, that's a little quick, don't you think? But, hey, to each their own. So, Mary had a strong suspicion that Dom was stepping out on their marriage, and this is due to her finding makeup on his shirt one day. And it definitely wasn't hers, so she had her suspicions. Right. Rightfully so.
Because, like, women know. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's that women's intuition.
Yeah, women know. Especially they know their shit, like...
Oh, yeah, definitely. And there's just so many different types of makeup brands out there, and, like, you know, just all types of different things that, you know, it's kind of hard for a girl to have the exact same shit that you have. Same thing with, like, perfume.
Right.
I feel like.
She probably saw that.
That's why it's easy to tell, like, you have somebody else's perfume on you?
Exactly.
You know?
Who's that? Like, I ain't
never
smelled
that's
that
not
before.
Mine. Yeah. So, you know, I think she rightfully was suspicious of him.
If she dipped, this would, you know, it would have made...
It adds up. It makes sense, right? So, after finding this, she met with a lawyer to discuss her options for a divorce with Tom. With Dom. I don't know who the fuck Tom is, but yes. So she met with a lawyer behind his back, like he didn't know, because she was curious. She was trying to get out of the situation that she was in. It was toxic. It was abusive, manipulative, just nothing good, nothing that you would want, and. It's good to know that she was trying to seek a way out or seek help or was looking into things, because not everybody does. Right. And not everybody gets the chance to.
And from the way it looks, you know, that's definitely a safer way to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because if you were to tell him, he would probably get mad. But then again, what if he were to find out? And because she didn't tell him, that could send him over the edge and give him a motive. So... her daughters describes her and Dom's relationship as abusive and tumultuous. And this is because, I mean, she's had markings, like, on her body. Her body has experienced trauma from his physical abuse. They have witnessed it. And also, her friend even made a statement saying that whenever things got really bad, that Mary and her two daughters would seek refuge with her at her house every time. And Mary would disappear and she would, like, leave, rightfully so. I mean, she was scared. Definitely, but she would always come back. And so the fact that this one time she didn't is just suspicious, you know? And it makes you question things, that, like, especially with all the context behind it.
Yeah. Even like that, leaving
just don't sit right with me.
Could get, real tiring too. So I'm sure.
Yeah. Like, she either got fed up and was just like, this time I'm not coming back. But then again, why would you not bring your daughters or tell them? But also at the same time, they were grown, so...
Yeah, everybody has their own lives. So
yeah.
She was probably like, oh, I don't want to worry them and this and that.
Right. And to make things even more deeper than what they already were, because the waters are murky already. Like, there's not a lot of details, but the details that we do have are very, like, telling of the story of what is happening. So Mary had even took it as far as to tell her daughters that she was living in fear, and she was in fact fearing for her life.
If that don't scream, I need to get out of this,
then I don't know what does. Like, if I don't know, like, if I went to my kids and I told them that, I would think that they would be concerned, for somebody to actually have the courage and the willpower to bring that up and, like, let somebody know, like, hey, I'm scared for my life, in a sense, like, that takes a lot. It takes a lot of courage. So it must have been really serious. She must have, like, been at her breaking point as well.
Exactly.
Which kind of builds up a backstory of how the relationship was and how the environment was in the home between the two of them.
Continue on. Both daughters, 20 and 21 at the time, say they both witnessed their stepfather unleash rage on their mom. Cheryl and Beth tell stories of bitter fights, returning home to their mom having black eyes and other bruises. And
it's crazy. Didn't even try to, like, hide the shit. Like, he was just hitting her in her face.
I'm sure when they would see her, and like, this would be...
And, like, what do you say?
This is me just, like, forming a picture. They probably coming home or whatever from maybe a friend's house or whatnot, and the mom's sitting on the porch smoking a cigarette, just sitting there shaking or crying or whatnot. And they're like, oh, well, what happened? What happened? And then she looks up and she got a black eye. Or you go to the bathroom and she comes out and you see she got a bruise on her face. Or, like,
or you just walk in the door and she's sitting on the couch watching TV.
Right.
And she look up at you and boom, there it is. Like,
and then
that is unsettling.
Her first words are probably, hey, honey. And then, everybody just go on about their night or,
Which, and it seems like it could have went that way because it was silenced for the most part. Like,
and all these markings and fights went unmentioned until then.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
So, like you said, kind of keeping it hush-hush, not really addressing the situations at hand.
It's the elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about.
Yeah, like, I'm sure the tension was there.
Definitely.
The air was thick.
Real thick. Because he probably a heavy drinker, too, so...
I don't know. We can't make assumptions.
We can't make assumptions, but I'm just saying.
But it would go hand in hand.
Yeah.
But... then again, you never know. On August 31st, 1984, both daughters reported Mary as officially missing. And putting that into context, that's quite a while after she actually disappeared.
Yeah.
That's about a week away. Well, no, over a week. It was like 10 days.
Yes, 2 weeks.
Yeah. So, 2 weeks later, she was officially reported missing. Although police did make it a point to speak to Dom, he was not considered a suspect, and this was due to the lack of evidence alluding to foul play. So the police even thought that she just left on her own accord. Which could likely be the case, because her kids were grown, it's not like she had children.
Right.
So she didn't have anybody to, like, come home to necessarily. Like, they're probably off in college, like... doing their own thing.
Living their own lives.
Yeah, so I could see how she might have just up and left. But for her to not make contact with her children even years later.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little suspicious.
I know I left on, out of the blue, but they explained it, this is what happened, da da da. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah. Some type of closure. So, in turn, having no concrete evidence, motive, or suspect, the police deemed this case low priority. And once the case is low priority...
yeah, they don't care.
Yeah, you might as well just, like, look the other way, go move on to the next thing, because they're literally going to stop putting any type of effort into the case unless something comes to them.
It might as well be case closed at that point.
And over time, it does become that. So Mary's case has been labeled a mystery from the beginning, but luckily in 1990, her case was officially listed as a homicide. And that's a pretty big, like, break in the case. I would say it was probably, like, definitely the biggest break in the case, because at that point, she was officially pronounced dead, which obviously was years later, over half a decade later. But I think it's safe to make that assumption. Like, they gave it time. There was still nothing. And in that amount of time, if you don't reach out to your kids, like, there has to be something more going on.
Yeah, it's like, what do you know, what else would you expect them to feel?
Because they just, I feel like she would have gave them some type of closure.
I feel like if anybody would, that's what I'm saying. If she would have told anyone. Like,
anything. Like, a letter, you know?
Yeah.
Anything. But there was none of that. So honestly, if I were working on this case, I would have probably said the same thing. I would have been like, let's go ahead and just call this a homicide. But I wish they would have did that sooner, because maybe this case could have gone a different way, you know?
Right. And so now looking at the aftermath of the case, since her disappearance, Mary's kids shed light on the anniversary of her demise. First of all, after Mary's disappearance on September 1st, police went to the Sherman home and found her 1982 Chevy Cavalier still parked outside.
Yeah, so around the same time, like 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
When she was officially pronounced missing.
It was located at the end of the driveway, and the windshield on the driver's side was smashed in, leaving shattered glass shards in the seat.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder what could have happened there.
Right. And it's interesting because, think about it, if they would have even found the car sooner.
Right.
If the car was linked to anything.
Things could have solved it. Could have been.
Right. And this case is so frustrating because the police work is just so lackluster.
As with a lot of these cases that we cover.
And we say this every time. Because it's just, that's just how it is. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy, though, and it's really sad.
It is real sad, man, because people deserve that justice for their families. Or,
and, like, just closure, because, I mean, you might not get justice if she did just disappear. Then, like, hey, at least you could know that and just have that closure.
Just know that, that, you know, that you're not
instead of questioning, like, did she disappear or is she gone? Like, you know?
Right.
It's a big difference.
It was concluded that Dom had likely been the one to smash the window. His excuse in response to this allegation was, he was mad, and she just up and left with a new boyfriend and his money, so he smashed the window.
Which just shows his character.
Yeah, man.
Even more.
Yeah.
Pent-up aggression, whatever you got going on inside. Just a lot of anger and resentment towards himself, you know? You never know.
For shortcomings or...
Yeah. But the fact that he alluded to her having a secret boyfriend, I feel like that really just tries to take the blame off of him and his wrongdoings, of him having an actual secret girlfriend. Like,
concrete, like a whole girlfriend.
Yeah. And I don't know, just a lot of things that he does throughout this case is very questionable. And he just doesn't seem like a very likable man, you know, especially with him being an abusive person, an abusive partner. That's just not okay. And I don't like him. So I don't know him, but I don't like him because that's not okay. That's never okay. But that right there just kind of, you know, goes hand in hand with the type of person he is. With past things that he's done.
Yeah. Mary's car was never seized or inspected for evidence regarding her case. Again.
Terrible police work.
Jesus, man. Who trains these?
No warrants? Like, did you even try? That's what I'm saying. Like, when it becomes low priority, all bets are off the table. Like, they're not going to do anything unless something comes to them. And even then, they're probably still going to overlook what is being brought to their attention when it comes to a low priority case, because they've already given up hope when it goes into low priority, and after low priority it's a cold case, and that's just that. So it's just all downhill from there. So, in the end, a report was also filed with police only 4 days after Mary disappeared. Trooper Pliego said he found out a woman named Joanne Perrone was living in the Badaracco residence with her daughters. Interesting enough, though, Perrone had moved in less than a week after Dom's wife's disappearance was publicly known. She moved in before anybody knew she was missing.
So they've been doing this for a while then.
Well, yeah, if this lady is the secret girlfriend.
Right.
And I don't know. It could be, it might not be. But Dom claimed he moved in with his sister, Patty Jennings, during this transition in Danbury, and then rented the home to Joanne. So he skedaddled, then rented the place to her. That's what he's saying.
Really?
But it's just questionable because why would you move her in so soon?
With her kids.
Yeah.
With
but
her
like,
children. And
moving
your wife's
somebody
stuff is still there.
Could have been. Might not have been. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if it was, that's even more fucked up. But a while later, it gets even crazier. Dom and Joanne get married.
You don't say. Yeah, you're not serious, are you?
Get married.
Like with the ring and everything?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And till this day, live at the residence.
Oh, really? What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would not have guessed that.
Yeah. It's just crazy. It's crazy. And it's
That is
just
crazy. Sick.
If he had something to do with it, it is hella sick.
Like with every case, or most cases, there's always a theory.
Yes, at least one.
Right.
And this is the one, because there's really only just one other theory besides it being Dom having something to do with this, because in all honesty, that's my theory at least.
I'm rocking with Dom. I don't even...
You on Dom's side?
No, I'm saying he's definitely got to be the one.
Yeah, he's just really questionable.
Yeah. So, in 1986, police received a tip from an anonymous informant. This person was placed in the Federal Witness Protection Program and was someone who was affiliated with the Bridgeport Hells Angels.
Which is cool as fuck.
And if anybody knows about biker gangs, you know the Hells Angels are
like top dogs.
Creme de la creme.
Yeah,
so,
definitely. We should cover some biker gangs.
Oh, definitely.
Or like, just some old stories. Or like some
general.
old Wild West stories.
Oh, yeah. No,
that'd be fun.
Wild West Wednesday.
Let us know. Ooh. Do little like exclusive episodes on it. Yeah. That'd be cool. I don't know.
Let us know, guys. What do you think about Wild West Wednesdays? Drop a comment. The informant told police Mary had been whacked by 2 members of the motorcycle gang. Till this day.
But why?
Huh?
But why?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
That's just very out there. Because what ties would she have? I mean, maybe she did have ties and we just don't know. And Mary was just a G. But. Otherwise. Like, I don't know. This just doesn't seem as plausible to me as Dom.
Yeah, no. No. It's him. For sure.
Right. Unless she really just left.
And I don't know who Dom is. I don't know what type of guy he is. But he could be a mob guy. He could not be. Who knows?
Mary.
Till this day, Mary's case is unsolved and remains a mystery. And ends up on podcasts like ours.
Yeah, it does. And that is the end of the Mary Badaracco case. Mm-hmm. Jesus. Butchered that. Ooh. But we also have some ending questions today. Ending questions. We have a lot of them today because this case is very questionable.
So is Dom.
Yes. So I'll go ahead with the first one. And the first one is, who do you think is responsible for Mary's disappearance? Mary herself or someone else? So this is kind of like a two-parter. So this could also include like the little biker gang. Okay, I don't want to minimize and say little biker gang.
Listen, no disrespect. No.
Like, it could have been the Hells Angels or Mary or Dom or just anybody else. If she did have a secret boyfriend, which... There's no proof behind that, so I don't think that's very likely. But I personally would say that it's someone else, and that someone else is Dom. Because a lot of this shit just doesn't add up. And I feel like he probably really did something to hurt her one day and covered his tracks and did a damn good job, because this case has been unsolved and she's never been found to this day. No traces of her. Nobody has heard anything. The $100,000 has still never been traced or came up to this day. So I think that Dom has some shit, has some shit under his sleeve and has some shit under his belt that he has been hiding for all these years, for all these decades.
Definitely.
I'm sorry, but that just really, made me upset because, it's just obvious. So go ahead. Who do you think? Sorry, listen, I'm really passionate about this.
It's either, if it's Dom, it's somebody that knows Dom. If it ain't Dom, it's somebody that knows Dom. Because, that was...
Somebody that Dom knows.
Yeah, it's just too clean of a job.
No trace.
No trace. Nothing. The money's gone. So that could have been hitman money. That could have been disappear money. That could have been...
Actually, yeah. Honestly, I didn't think of that. That could have been hitman money.
Yeah. $100,000.
Yeah.
Why are you randomly saving?
And that's quite... I would say if... I don't know how much hitmen get paid.
Listen, they get paid however much.
But I would think that, that's probably something that they would be like, all right, bro. Yeah, I'll just make her disappear.
Definitely, yeah. That's their job.
But, is that enough to pay a hitman?
I don't know how much killing somebody is worth, okay?
Because I would need at least... let me stop. I'm not...
I don't know.
I'm not even going to condone that.
I don't know how much it would take for somebody to take somebody's life. I'll have to ask...
It's just 100,000 seems kind of low. If you ask me. But unless you're doing a good ass job and you just hit the dude with a discount, I know I'm not gonna get
a discount for this.
Maybe, wow. But if you're I know I'm not gonna get caught. I know how to do my job. I know what I'm doing. So we could do 100,000. If that's all you got, we could do 100,000.
Nah, that's something they play poker over. Fuck it. If I'm gonna do it for 100,000, you gotta beat me in the hand of Texas Hold'em. I don't know.
Something. I don't know. But yeah, definitely think it's dumb.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's
but you said, somebody that Dom knows is very...
Somebody connected.
Yeah, very possible as well.
The second question. Do you believe Mary's still out there living her new life? And I feel like this one is geared toward the whole...
The possibility of her just disappearing.
Yeah.
And not... actually being deceased.
Yeah.
Because we don't know for sure. There's never been any remains found either. So, no weapons, nothing.
Yeah.
So, do you believe that she's still out there?
Honestly.
This was in 84. She was 38 years old in 84.
Yeah. I don't know what she's doing. But she out there doing it.
I think if we were doing this podcast back in 2000, before 2010,
that would have been probably would be.
I'm just saying. If we were filming this podcast back in the early 2000s, I would say yes. Now in 2021, that would make Mary what? I don't know. That was 40 years ago.
We're doing math. That's not what we do on
84, this is 21.
That's not what we do.
Anyways, that was 30 years ago. So she's probably in her 60s. Yeah. And I don't know. I just don't.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. The possibility just seems a lot more slim to me.
I get
Looking at it now as it would have been.
You're looking
10, 20 years from now.
You're looking in terms of life expectancy wise, or
that too, but also just for her to go that long without any type of contact, without any type of anything, it's just too long for me. So now back 20 years ago, I would say sure there's a possibility she's just holding off a little long, just to make sure she's safe.
Right.
But now all these years, her whole life, the rest of her life. I don't think so. I think you would get in touch with your kids.
Oh,
at least.
Well, yeah. I didn't even factor that into mine. I didn't think about it, but
yeah,
right. She probably would want to get in touch with her kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless
even if she was living her new life, but that wasn't there was nothing alluding to that at all. They were the ones that were fighting for her, and they're still fighting for her till this day. They're the ones that called the cops. Dom didn't want to. So, and they're the ones that reported her missing. So if they would have never taken the steps that they took, it wouldn't have even gotten as far as it did.
True enough.
So I don't think there was really anything setting them apart from each other, right, leading up to her disappearance. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, no.
So, yeah. The third question is, do you think the police did a diligent job in this case? And a 1, 2, 3. No. Never. Because, yeah, there's a lot of things that they could have done better. Like, you could have gotten a warrant to get... What do you mean?
Go on. I was thinking out loud.
You could have gotten a warrant to seize the car and to search the car for evidence, because you don't know what could have been in that car. You could have got a search warrant for the house, but you didn't. You could have brought him in for questioning, had him take a lie detector test, and when he failed that, even though lie detector tests aren't all the way 100%, correct, and that they shouldn't be taken seriously, and they wouldn't be admissible in court.
At that time,
it's still something to raise an eyebrow to, and to say, this dude already has a past of being abusive. Maybe, and even that should have been enough for them to look further into Dom and his past. Even you never know what he could have did in his past. He probably had past wives or past girlfriends that had same issues with him, but they would never know because they didn't see him as a suspect. Why? Because they didn't see foul play. Why? Because they didn't want to get warrants so that way they can find evidence.
All things you need.
Which concludes bad police work.
It sucks. They suck. What do we do about it? We reform.
We need to, yes. Sign petitions, guys. They really do work. So, yeah, what do you think? Do you think they did a diligent job in this case?
We did the thing already, so...
I mean, that was my perspective. Do you agree?
Yeah, no, they didn't do shit that they were supposed to. Because when did they ever do shit that they're supposed to?
And the fact that it took 6 years for them to... officially call it a homicide.
Yeah, man.
I get it. You gotta give it time, because if she did disappear, then of course she would want to lay low for a while just for her safety.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, okay, when are we gonna make this decision?
Yeah, man.
When are we gonna make the call, guys?
Because the way I see it, it's like everybody.
It just seems like things moved very slow.
Everybody's in their little meeting room getting their coffee.
Eating their donuts.
And they bring the case up or whatnot. And everybody just, in a whole consensus, they agree, just like, nah.
Mary Badaracco next.
Yeah, just next.
And it's hella fucked up.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Don't like it at all.
And the next question is, if you had a question for Dom, what would it be? Oof. Dang.
What would it be?
So, was it really worth $100,000?
Ooh, damn! Hit him where it hurts. Hold on, because that was a good question.
Yeah.
Because what do you say to that?
Yeah.
What can you say to that? Especially to not incriminate yourself. What do you say to that? What if he's like, yeah, it was.
If he says yeah, then there's my answer. But if he says
no, then that's still your answer, because it's like,
Exactly.
You're saying no, but I don't believe you.
Exactly. Exactly. He's a smart man. If he knows what I think he knows, or what I'm assuming he knows, he's a smart man. So he'd say no.
Might be, might not be though.
Exactly.
Oof, one question for Dom.
So was it really worth?
Yeah. I mean, my question would be, do you ever think about her?
Ooh. Tough. That's tough.
Because you're living in the home that you turned into a home with her.
That's real tough. And your kids' pictures were on these same walls that you have your new girlfriend or your new wife's kids' pictures on.
Cooking meals in the same kitchen. Sleeping in the same room.
Same bed.
Like, pulling into the same driveway, coming home to the same house every day after work, and you're telling me, well, I don't know, but, like, you're not thinking about her? Like, how often, Like, do you ever think about her?
And it's like, when you come home, like, your home smells like your home, you know what I mean? Like, say, if I were to get a new girlfriend and... move up in here and all that.
It just wouldn't feel the same.
It wouldn't feel the same.
How can you feel comfortable? It just wouldn't be the same. You've already got memories there.
So it's like, how do you walk into your house smelling your house like your home with another woman? You know what I'm saying?
And just walking through the same, like, I just...
just can't get over it.
It just doesn't sit right with me. And to be happy with that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would want to know, do you ever think about her? Because how could you not?
Do you ever think about her, and was it really worth $100,000?
Yeah. I think those are some good-ass questions. Because what the fuck? So, the last question is question number 5. And this question is, do you think there is a possibility that her disappearance will ever be solved? Disappearance, murder, either one. Because if it's a disappearance and, she is alive and say, right before she passes away of old age or something, she makes this big announcement like, yeah, I'm Mary. I've been alive all this time. I was fine. Or they just finally find something that, like, a body, something, some type of proof showing that she did in fact pass away back in 84 or whenever. Just something, some type of closure.
I feel that.
Do you think we'll ever get that?
I feel that. And I feel like if she were to come out and just say that, well, not saying it would be like now, but if any time between 84 and then on, if she would come out and just be like, hey, I'm married, this and that, I feel like it would definitely be freeing on her end.
Oh, yeah. But, holding it in your whole life, the whole rest of your life.
Right. But will it be televised at that point?
I feel like if it was in the way that I'm picturing it, like her, like her end is near and she wants to finally make that announcement, then I feel like it would be publicized, because at that point, what would Dawn be able to do? What would anybody be able to do?
Right.
So at that point, she would know that she was safe, but also giving that closure to everybody else that deserves that closure. Mm-hmm. But that's just to say, if she were alive and was like hiding out all this time. But honestly, I just don't think that's the case. I think that something awful did happen to her, and that it was just very well, done. It was just covered up so good. And that's really what fucked it up. Being a great cover-up, having shitty police work. It's the perfect duo for a cold case. So, yeah, I feel like we'll never get complete closure on this, but I definitely think that she's no longer with us. So, yeah. Is that kind of deep?
Deeper than most.
That's how we be. Yeah. So that's it. Those are all of our ending questions. Boy. Do we have a fun time filming?
Yeah, pretty great.
It's fun every time, and it only gets better, every time. And I love that. I really do love it. It feels really good to sit down each week and bring something new to the table for you guys.
That was nice, because we got a new table.
We did get a new podcast table, yeah. So, yeah.
Damn, look at you, man.
Hitting them with the gems. So, I think that's it for today's episode. I've done a lot of rambling, I know.
I've done enough.
Yeah. Do you have any kind words, though, to end us off on a good note on this beautiful Friday?
Kind words. Stay light. Stay bright. Stay positive, my friends. I've been your host, DJ.
And I've been your host, Sav.
Catch us next time on
Deeper Than Most.